Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I am Woody and you're watching the Wordy Woody Show. As you can see, me and Blackfire are getting ready to head out. We're going over to Camden. It's about 25 minutes or so from where I live. We were invited to attend Icon's MC Kickback. I've never attended an event for this club before, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm always down to meet new people and get on my bike and see where the day takes me. Now, I was attempting in this scene that you see here to attach my Insta360 microphone to my helmet. I could not figure it out. I watched some other creators' videos. They made it sound like it was super simple, like you just clip it to the inside of the chin curtain. That was not working out for me. I ended up just kind of sort of placing the mic inside of there, inside of my visor, and as I was doing that, I was not sure if it was going to work. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to be able to hear me. Later on the video, you'll see that I was able to get it together and record it, but I was struggling right here. But anyway, let's start the video.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. This is my first time using my Insta360 microphone. I think whenever you use it, it turns off the music, which is kind of odd. I actually tried mounting my phone. I tried mounting my phone a different way too, so we'll see if it sticks, if it holds, but you know, having things attached to you and attached to your bike are new to me, so I don't know how I feel about any of this, so we're gonna see. So I'm headed to a kickback being held by a club called Icons. I met some of these gentlemen when I was down at Bike Week in Myrtle, and I received a flyer in my DM to come to this event, so that's where we're headed. It's just a few minutes away from my house, about 20 minutes or so. So I had some time today. It's actually been a while since I've been out on the bike. So I have many days off from work, so I definitely want to try to get out. It's been really, really hot in New Jersey for several weeks now, like ridiculously hot. It's also been really smoggy and foggy with really poor air quality because of the fires up in Canada. So it wasn't really feasible to get out. And honestly, I did have a couple of other occasions where I was going to get out, but I was just really tired and I've been working a lot and I just needed to rest. So I took the opportunity to rest. Again, it'd be really funny if I'm doing all this conversation and you guys just straight up can't hear me because I'm not using this microphone correct. So we'll have to see what the footage shows when we get back from this ride. So it's also the World Cup finals, which I did want to watch today, but I don't know. I took the opportunity to get out on my bike since I had some time. I have family in town as well from Atlanta, so I've had to spend some time with them. So again, it has not been easy to get out whenever I wanted to get out. It's actually been exactly nearly a month since I've been out on Blackfire, which is a little bit too long in the summertime because pretty soon we're gonna have no opportunities to get out. So here we are. My family actually went over to Philly today to explore and to go get some cheesesteaks and whatnot. I did not want to do that, but tomorrow we are supposed to go into Manhattan, which I think is going to be a nightmare. We're going to be doing multiple tourist type things. You know, and as somebody that's lived in the North Jersey area for dang near 20 years and used to work in Manhattan for like 18 years, I am not enthusiastic about doing anything that has to do with Midtown Manhattan, Penn Station, the Oculus, the financial district. Nothing like that appeals to me. However, Like I said, my cousins, this is their first time in the Northeast. They've never been to New York. They've never been to Philly. So we got to do all the things for them. I think they're having a good time and enjoying themselves so far, though. I wanted to get out earlier today when everybody had gone to church, but I was on dinner duty, so I had to make sure I had dinner ready for everybody when they get back. My parents like to eat early, like around 5 p.m. So I got up this morning and cooked a big old pot of black people spaghetti with the onions and all that. No sugar, because we don't do that over here, but good nonetheless. So hopefully they enjoy that. I just realized when I said that I have not eaten. Got to get something to eat and something to drink when we get over to this place. This is the first day in a while that you've been able to see the sky, and it's actually blue and it's not raining or smoggy or super duper hot. The weather has not been kind to us this summer in New Jersey, so hopefully a lot of people will come to this event and take the opportunity to come out and be on their bikes. I don't know this club, Icons. I've never heard of them until I met the members in Myrtle. However, they are a South Jersey club, and I don't think I've mentioned on the channel before, but since I've been living in South Jersey, I have struggled to find other people down here that ride and to kind of find like a riding community down here. I do know some bros down here that ride that I know from North Jersey that have subsequently kind of like moved down to the area or either been in the area, but I definitely don't know any other women in this area that ride. Finding other women has been a constant struggle pretty much since I started riding. I mean, yes, I have my club, but it would be good to have another person when club members are not available. My club is small. There's only 5 of us. So, there are definitely times when everybody can't come out or nobody could come out, because of family obligations and whatever. So, hopefully at some point I will be able to find a riding community down here where I won't have to go all the way up to North Jersey. So I still continue to struggle with the mounting for this camera. I got it on the selfie stick that comes with Insta360. However, I did kind of pull it up a little bit so you could kind of get a telescopic view, and I see the stick is sliding back down into the housing. Now I did purchase a heavy duty stick that came with different clamps, but the top portion of the stick where you would screw in the camera, it didn't seem sturdy to me or proper. So I took that off, put it in my saddlebag, and I put the selfie stick that comes with Insta360, and it's just not good. Like, I can't seem to figure this out. I do have a mount on the back of the bike, which I daren't use until I figure this out, because when I tell y'all I am not losing this motherfucking camera, I am not losing this goddamn camera. This shit is too expensive. So I will not be mounting nothing in my rear until I figure out what's what with this mounting. As I said before, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a professional videographer. I am none of those things. I am a flight attendant. So I am learning as I go along. I see a lot of people have really cool angles and shots when they film. I watch a lot of Matt Laidlaw's channel. His videos are just epic with the footage that he gets, but he's been in this game a long time. I think he's had his YouTube channel for like 15 years or something like that. I also watch Ride to Food. She has beautiful shots. I watch Under the Hood with Power. He has absolutely beautiful footage, a lot of like really good from the rear footage as well. And I don't know, maybe one day I can meet those creators that I like to watch and ask them, their tips and tricks. I've tried some of the things I've seen on other videos, and it just has not worked for me. So again, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Also, speaking of that, GQ If you guys know him, the leader of the Peace Army, which I'm sure everybody does, he has some really good footage as well. Him and his friends, GQ and company, they just did the Four Corners ride. I cannot wait to see that footage and to get everybody's opinions and their feelings on how that ride went. I know that footage is just going to be incredible. When he did his footage from his Alaska ride, I think I watched that thing like 2 or 3 times. It was so good. So one day, I'm going to get to the point where you guys can stop looking directly in front of me or on side of me or directly at my head, you know, because my footage is better. So I know it's kind of whack right now, but those of you who are sticking beside me, I appreciate it. Another thing I don't really like about the camera just being here on the side of me, it's in my field of vision and I feel like it's distracting. So I really don't care for that at all. I would love to mount it somewhere where I know it's secure. I can push the remote, you know, play, stop, etc. and it's not in my field of vision. I just feel like it's distracting. So at some point I can get to that also. But again, this is going to be absolutely dumb if I'm doing all this talking, all this jaw jacking and bumping my gums and you guys can hear absolutely nothing because the microphone is not working correctly. It says it's recording on the screen of the camera, so, and I did test this about 3 times before I got out here and put it inside my helmet, which it's not clipped to anything, by the way. It's just floating inside of my chin curtain. I could see the dead cat down in the corner of my eye, so I know it's still there. But yeah, I'm not doing anything right. Nothing is happening correct with this, so I'm hoping in like a year's time or 2 years time, when I get a little bit more professional and savvy with this whole thing, that I'll look back on all this and laugh. I hope you guys are laughing too at my incompetence doing this. All right, this car is not, all right, sir, I was letting you go, but guess he was letting me go. It's a really nice day to be out here riding though. It is warm, but I think it's about 84 degrees. I am wearing full gear as always. It's not that bad. I was expecting it to maybe feel like low 70s once I got on the bike, and it's still very warm. I'm very comfortable. I did go ahead and put a long sleeve shirt in my bag, which I didn't need. So we'll see. I tell you one thing, the battery on these 360 cameras, they don't last very long. So I've been out here, what, 15 minutes maybe? And it looks like the battery is already down 1/4 of the way. That's a little concerning. I just have the 2 batteries that came with the camera. So eventually at some point, I guess I'll get a 3rd battery maybe. I did already get a secondary SD card, which was $70. That's absurd. So, but I shouldn't be surprised because like anything, I do not know how to do cheap or well-priced hobbies. So motorcycling is not price conscious. I did imagine once I started doing some pricing that recording footage and having a YouTube channel wasn't necessarily price conscious if you wanted to do it the correct way. Before I was motorcycling rather, and still to this day, I've been roller skating for like the past 20 years, which can be expensive when you start, you know, paying fees to get in the skating rink, going to parties. If you got a custom skate setup, which I do, my skates were nearly $800. But you know, it's a one-time cost. When you add in the plates, the trucks, the wheels, you know, skates can be very expensive. You can pay up to $2,000 for a skate setup depending on what you're doing. That's another thing that I'm supposed to be doing this summer, which I have not been doing, is skating more. That's my first love. And believe it or not, I would still say that even though I motorcycle more, I love 8 wheels more than I love 2. Maybe because the fear of dying isn't there. But yeah, I'm an avid skater. I'm a diehard skater for life. I love it. So again, once you start going to parties and events, I used to go to a lot of skate parties and events as well. Buying airline tickets and such and hotels and everything like that before I was a flight attendant and I had to pay my own way everywhere. It got very, very expensive. So hopefully I could get a couple of skate sessions in too. I think we might go skating maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday night, so we'll see. So I'm just chilling, doing about 20 above the speed limit. That's about it. Taking my time, being leisurely. Yo, I wish I could have showed you guys that on the opposite highway northbound at 295, 2 people just rode past me going 2 up. The person on the back who had no gear on, just looked like a little bucket shell helmet, was standing on the passenger pegs. Like, what do people be doing? I understand that a lot of people would stand on their floorboards or their pegs to stretch their legs. I don't think I've ever seen a passenger do it. That's kind of weird. It seems like you would be putting pressure on the driver's shoulders. Like, people are really crazy out here. So I also bought a windshield mount for the camera. It seemed like it was really well made, like good quality. I went to screw the camera to it and I cannot get the camera to face in the correct direction, which technically should not matter because it's a 360 camera. However, I do like the screen to face me just so I can see what the camera's doing, obviously. I would imagine most people use it in that manner. So I tried fiddling with it, still couldn't get it. I guess I will have hubby take a look at it, see what I'm doing wrong. Probably it's a simple solution that I just can't figure it out. It's a running joke in my club that when something is engineered in a very simple way that a monkey could do it, I literally can't figure it out because my brain works better with complicated. So I'm sure it's something simple. Hopefully I could get that together. Still haven't got my music to play back. So Siri started talking to me, giving me the directions to this place. My music ain't played back since then. I can try to hit the car though and get it to play, but it's just too much going on right now, y'all. It's too many buttons. It's too many things. I'm verklempt and just filled with consternation at all of these things that's happening. So one day I'm gonna get my life together and figure out things. Oh, what are these cars doing? What are y'all doing? All right, I guess they're letting me go. All right, thank you. I swear to God, this lady never talks to me when I need her to. Like, I'll see the GPS telling me. I'll see the GPS telling me that you got to make a turn or etc. And she just won't be saying anything. And I'm like, okay, I see it getting ready to tell me, but you're not telling me anything. Exit 4, okay. Exit 4 is coming up. Oh, I know this road. This is the way we took to go to Bike Week. Ooh, bumps. I always think the camera's gonna fly off when I go over bumps. I hate it. I don't know, y'all. I might have to pack this in with this YouTube thing because this camera is stressing me out so bad. Trying to get footage. I have a little day trip coming up that I'm planning on taking for my birthday sometime in August, and I know it's going to be a really beautiful ride with a lot of potential for some good footage, and I really want to show it to you guys. And I can't get my camera life together, so how am I going to show you? I'm going to take the ride. It's going to be incredible, and y'all just going to be staring at my big face the whole time because I can't figure things out. I don't know. Y'all got to pray for me. Pray for me that I get my camera life together. Alright, there's literally a man in front of me driving a pickup truck full of refrigerators and stoves and other bullshit. Driving on the wrong side of the road. Okay. Cool. It's the type of shit we gotta watch out for. Ooh, this is not a good side of Camden that we have found ourselves on. There's a lot of junkies. Goodness gracious. Alright, here's the place. The one time when I want some men to come over and help me back up my bike, and they're not coming over. That's cool. Right, so like I said, this is a kickback for this club Icons. I do see these gentlemen outside. I also see a lot of wheels of soul here, so I'm wondering if maybe they're a support club. So anyway, we've arrived. We're gonna see what's what, and I'll get back with you guys.
Alright, so like I said, y'all, I'm not really sure what the situation is here at this event. It's quite a few readily identifiable ONC members here, and you know, we want to be respectful and follow proper protocol when we're out here on the set. So not sure about the filming at this function, so we're gonna see. The event, I did talk to the gentleman holding this event. I got permission to film, so it's actually, like I said, the neighborhood is not that good, but the spot is really cute. They got a really nice like outdoor bar, so let's go inside. I can show you guys what it looks like on the inside. So it's kind of like a decent turnout so far. Looks like there's maybe about like 30 bikes here, but it's a really big spot, so it's not a lot of people on the inside as yet. Bikes across the street. So this spot is called Booker's Lounge. It's in Camden. You want to say hi? So this is Icons. This is their kickback. So let's take a look at the spot. Started like about, I don't know, a month and a half ago. This is Shane, Eddie. So you guys have heard me complain, hopefully you can hear me, the music's really loud. Heard me complain that there's not a really good motorcycle community in South Jersey, at least on the black bike set anyway. They're telling me that they agree with me, so there you go. Yeah, so this is a really nice spot, like I said, but there's not that many people here, so I don't know if you can hear me, but I was getting ready to leave this event, but I was just kind of lingering around. I ran into my homegirl, Crystal, who I haven't seen in a couple of years, and she was telling me all the activities and stuff that her club does, and I'm getting ready to link up and ride with these girls. And this is why you're in the right place at the right time where you're supposed to be, because I promise you I was getting ready to leave. And if I had left 20 minutes ago when I planned on leaving, I would have never have ran into her. So running into her was worth it. Coming out here alone was worth it just for that. So I didn't film the encounter, but when I pulled off from the spot and I was getting ready to get on the highway, this gigantic pickup truck kind of like pulled up on my ass, and it was 2 lanes. So I'm like, well, why is this truck in my lane? And I mean, when I say pulled up on my ass, and then pulled alongside of me, and it was a woman, and she got my attention. She's like, oh, I love your camera. Like, what kind of camera is it? Is it a 360 camera? I said, yes. It's the Insta X5. You know, you could get it from here. It does this and that. And then I was telling her about the microphone, and she's like, oh, okay, because I do content creation. And what is that car doing? I do content creation, and you know, I want to get a better camera. I said, cool. The weird thing about the exchange was when the light turned green and it was time to pull off, not only did she pull off in front of me, like, I feel like you should give motorcycles the right of way, kind of, but she pulled like really close off. Like, she nearly ran me over. And I'm like, baby girl, like, you worried about this camera and trying to figure it out. Like, I need you to pay attention to like driving and road etiquette and everything, because you're like so busy talking to me about this camera, you about to run me over. So that was very odd and very weird. I guess kind of like indicative of people's main character energy these days. So yeah, that was a little strange, but overall this has been a really nice day, really perfect weather, great day to ride. It would have been nice to actually have kind of like a destination, like, you know, a real ride, like an actual like planned out like ride with a route and everything. But you know, I'm satisfied with how my day went. I'm satisfied that I was able to get on the bike and talk to people, meet people. I met a lot of new people today. I did have, you know, my little non-alcoholic mocktail. That was fun. And you know, I'm a very friendly person. I don't have a hard time like getting out, meeting people, being in the community. So I'm always going to do that. And sometimes it produces fruit, sometimes it doesn't. But today I happen to get lucky, and me deciding to do some solo dolo type shit paid off for me today. Alright, so we are finally heading home. I don't know what it is, but for some reason around the Camden area with Google Maps, when you start getting close to the Walt Whitman Bridge, it gets really confusing. The GPS gets confused, and it would have you doing something weird or going to a weird place. Like, it just had me get off at exit 1B just now, which I should not have got off at. Then I had to do like a weird U-turn in a really bumpy, really gravelly, really dangerous residential neighborhood. So that was very irritating. I would have been like halfway home by now. But on a positive note, when I get home, I will discuss with you guys something really good and wonderful that happened to me at this kickback. I was going to do something else today, and I'm glad that I decided to go to Icon's kickback. I was a little surprised that I had to pay $10 to get in, especially because it's like a daytime event. And it is a kickback, you know, kind of like a community event and not like a party. So that kind of shocked me, but the information I got attending this event, it was worth it to pay the $10. So let me make my way home, and then we will have a little conversation, a little chat, and a little chew about that. Ran out of gas, was not paying attention. I only had about little less than half of a tank when I started the ride today. So of course my gas light came on, and I said, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go at least 5 miles before I can find me some gas. I hope this thing don't cut off on me. But I think whenever your gas light comes on, like with cars and motorcycles or whatever, I think you have like, I don't know, 25 miles or something like that until you run out of gas. But I am the worst person when it comes to monitoring my gas and things like that. I never pay attention, and then consequently I'll be in situations all the time where I nearly run out of gas.
So I'm ended up going away home that I did not intend to go home. I'm on the streets right now in a town called Marlton, which is about 15 minutes from the town that I live in, but there's a really nice back road to get there, back to my house, even though I have to go through some lights and some other shenanigans to get there. But since I'm over here, I'll just take the back roads to get there. So maybe I'll get my nice little scenic ride I wanted. It's getting kind of late. It's a little before 7:30, so I'm not sure what time it's supposed to get dark. I do not ride at night for reasons. As I think I've said on the channel before, I have keratoconus, which is an eye condition that I've had a couple of surgeries for, and I have an implant in my right eye, and it prevents you from processing light coming at you from the opposite direction. I have a hard time seeing blacks and grays at night, hence I can't see like potholes or other obstacles. It messes with your peripheral vision a little bit, and it definitely affects your depth perception. I guess technically I'm not supposed to drive at night either, but that's impossible. Like, I have to drive, but there's way less margin and room for error on a motorcycle, obviously, so I have elected to no longer ride at night. I know there are some people who have other conditions I know about that also technically have like night blindness, and they shouldn't ride at night, but you know, they choose to do that. That's not something that I choose to do. I had a really scary experience at Atlantic Beach Bike Week a couple of years ago, coming from the all-white party, and after that experience I made the decision 100% I will not be riding at night. So even if something happens and I cannot make it to my destination and it's getting dark, I will be pulling over and getting a hotel room, or I don't know, pitching a tent on the side of the road, doing whatever it is I have to do, but I will not be riding at night under any circumstances. So it does put a damper on my motorcycle life in some ways, because you know, a lot of events happen at night, obviously. So when you can't ride at night, it's like you're showing up to everything in a car, you know, which is not what we want to do when we ride motorcycles. You want to show up on your bike, you know what I'm saying? So it is annoying and it's frustrating, but it's safety first, and you know, I have to do what's right for me and what's safe for me, and ride in a way that I can handle. So for me, that's making sure that I'm only riding in the daytime. The main area that it does present or create challenge is on very long distance motorcycle trips. So I probably have to give myself, I would say, anywhere up to an extra day or extra day and a half to get to very long distance places. I've kind of mapped out some events that I do want to attend from New Jersey. I've wanted to attend the Unleash the Peace event. I've wanted to attend Black Wall Street. I've wanted to attend Roundup, and the time that I would need with the extra riding time I need, not being able to ride at night, and you know, riding the mileage that I could do in the daytime, which is, I don't know, I've never ridden more than 700 miles like in one day, and that was a lot, and it really was a lot on my body, and I was really miserable. So that's not something that I would choose to do by choice. So all that considered, like getting a Slide L to Unleash the Peace, I reckon that was going to take me about 2.5 days, and it probably would be less, you know what I'm saying, if I could get up and maybe start that ride at like 4 a.m. or, you know, 3:30 a.m. or whatever, like a lot of people do. But that's not something that I can do because it's dark. So that presents a lot of challenge for me. It's not a ride that I want to do by myself either. Not that my family would even ever allow that, but yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna work that out with some of those long distance rides I want to do, because I have a job where it's kind of set up that I can take a week off of work here and there, or you know, technically I could take 10 days off of work. It kind of depends on what I want to do and how much money I want to make. That's how it is for flight attendants and pilots. We essentially make our own schedule once we get senior enough. and you decide how little or how much that you want to work. Most people do not have that luxury to, you know, take that time off of work. So even if my friends want to go with me, and my club members to go to these places, they don't have that luxury. One of the things that was really interesting to me today too, when I pulled up to this event, and I might as well talk about everything now since I've created extra time to go home. I pulled up, I came into the place, they told me, you know, there was an entry fee. I initially thought he was kidding, which was funny. He's like, no, it's $10. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know how we got on the topic, but he was like, oh, you rode here? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, that's surprising. And I wanted to get offended for a split second that he found that surprising, but I remembered that I couldn't, because as I told y'all in my other video, you know, what was the math that I gave in terms of the percentage of people who ride motorcycles? What percentage of those people are women? So it's a very small percent. So how can I be surprised that he assumed that I didn't ride there? Also, it's been kind of a problem in my state for some time that there's not a lot of women of color, black women specifically, who are on motorcycles, and the ones that do have motorcycle license, they're not riding for whatever reasons. And you know, it's like family, raising kids, work, you might be supporting parents, it could be health issues. You know, there's a variety of reasons why people take motorcycling off their list of priorities to do. But I think also as women too, we have to start getting out here more and even start like supporting each other more when it comes to being out here like on these bikes. It's very, very challenging as a woman to be a motorcyclist, you know, women in male dominated fields and all that, right? It's challenging because if you're a person that wants to do miles and have experiences, a lot of times you have to be out here at these events and on these bikes with men. And there's nothing wrong with riding with men. I've ridden with men a lot of times. My riding partner Trini is a man, and he's taught me a lot about motorcycling and just being organized on the bike and how to plan routes and stuff. And like, he's taught me a lot. He's kept me safe. He's worked on my bike when I needed it, you know, so thank God for him. But there's a different level of camaraderie and comfortability, you know, when you're out on these roads with other women. And women always have a very special bond, the way we relate to each other, the way we support each other, you know, that it's just different. Not to mention the fact, you know, to keep it a buck, I am married, you know, and the optics, like being in the streets and being overnight, whatever, with men, I mean, the optics are just terrible. Now, we have trust in our marriage and our relationship, but, you know, I'm not going to push my husband's level of tolerance or comfortability with a situation any more than I have to push it. I mean, he knows what it is, but, you know, every single trip can't be me being the only woman in a pack of men. It just can't. So there's been a lot of events that I've foregoed attending because I knew I was going to be the only girl and I didn't want to be, and, you know, I wasn't interested, or I felt like it wasn't appropriate, or whatever the case may be. So the great thing that happened at this event that I was at today is I ran into Crystal, who I hadn't seen in a long time. I've known Crystal for years, probably the better part of a decade, and I hadn't seen her, and I was already talking to her member, who I just went up to and I introduced myself. I saw she had colors on. I saw it said motorcycle club and not social club, and I said, okay, Vineland, that's about an hour for me, but maybe they have things. And sure enough, I see Crystal walking in. I couldn't determine if it was her initially because my eyesight is so bad, and then when I determined it was her, we got to talking and catching up and whatever, and her club has a lot of events. She showed me their calendar. Like, they have a lot of stuff going on. She knew a lot of the gentlemen from Icons who hosted the event, said that they're great guys. They do a lot of stuff. I see that it's a lot of them, and they're a large club. I met another young lady at this event who is a new rider, somewhat new. She's been riding for 2 years. She's also being taught and mentored by men, but I saw her walking around, introducing herself, you know, talking to people and just putting herself out there. And that's kind of what you have to do in this community if you want to make bonds and meet people. I'm not a shy person. I am a watcher, but I'm not a shy person, and I will talk to people and, you know, make my own determinations about people. And probably I saw her doing that the same way. So she's close by to me in Burlington County, so hopefully we're gonna link up and maybe get on the road together, do some things together. I'm definitely gonna link up with Crystal and her club and, you know, just ride with them. She introduced me to some other ladies that was there, so, you know, I'm just excited about what's gonna come in the future and the opportunities that I might have to ride with other people on the days and situations where my club is not available. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with riding outside of your club. A lot of people are members of clubs or riding groups or whatever, and when the opportunity arises, they take the opportunity to ride with other people. I am the only member of my club that is so far south, so that's the thing as well. You know, when you're really far south, sometimes it's hard to get up with people. So I'm very happy about that. I'm glad I decided to come to this event, so we'll see what comes out of it. I am perhaps starting to regret going the long way. I don't think it's going to get dark for some time, but there are deer back here and they come out at dusk, so perhaps this wasn't the best choice, but we're going to be positive. By my daughter's high school over here, no longer her high school, she has now graduated. She is heading for university in September, so technically not her high school anymore, but I'm probably about 15 minutes away from my house at this point, so it should be fine. There's a house coming up here on the left. They've had a gigantic skeleton right there. I'll see if I can get the footage for you guys to see. I think they put that damn skeleton up and said, this took so much effort, we are never taking this thing down. So I still have the microphone jingling and floating around here inside of my helmet, so hopefully it's working. Again, I gotta see if I can look at somebody else's video to see how they attach this damn microphone, because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to just be floating around inside your helmet. But so we are now in Medford, New Jersey, and Medford is a very quiet, not very well-known township in South Jersey, but there's a ton of farms over here, ranches, you know, horses, goats, cows. There's a lot of nurseries over here. There's corn. It's really beautiful back here, and there's some really nice back roads rides. I just love it back here. The scenery is so nice, and it smells like grass and flowers and butterflies, and it's just really, really nice. So that's the great thing about living in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey really does have everything. So a lot of people talk shit about New Jersey, but I feel like it's people that have never been here. I mean, we do have a friendly rivalry with, you know, New York and with Pennsylvania, but I feel like it's all love, it's all good. Like I said, New Jersey is one of few states where we have beach and shore, we have farmlands, we have mountains, we have, you know, a temperate rainforest, we have pine barrens, we have so many different ecosystems here. You know, it's absolutely beautiful here. Some horses right there. And I really have grown to love this state. I've been living off and on in New Jersey since 1997. I came out here to go to college. My daughter is attending my alma mater for undergrad. And I married a Jersey boy, and I kind of never left. I had a brief stint in Atlanta. I had a brief stint in Philly. And then I ended up coming back here and just settling here. My husband has lived out of state. He was in the military, so, you know, he was in Florida. He was overseas in Asia. He was in California for a long time. But we've made New Jersey our home. And I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. I did say to myself that I didn't want to retire here just because it gets cold, but I don't know. Every place is warm, is very problematic politically, and I just don't want to be in those places. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So in New Jersey it is. New Jersey is not perfect. We have our problems here, but what can I say? It's my home. And there really is some beautiful riding here if you know where to go. It's not that hard to find. But also, New Jersey being small, not as small as Delaware, but small, lends itself to travel and getting around the state very easy. We have so many highways, so many interstates. You know, it's just an easy place to be. And there are still places here that are somewhat affordable given the situation in our country in general. And my taxes are very good in the city and the township that I live in, and there's still plenty of places, especially across South New Jersey, that have a really good tax bracket, and you know, you could still do a little something with good school districts and everything. New Jersey also is very multicultural. That's another thing that I like. There's all sorts of people here, and we have a vibrant immigrant community here, which I don't care what anybody says. Immigrants make this country better. They really do. Not only do they bring their delicious food, but they just bring, you know, their hardworking ways, their ways of life, the ways that they are inviting and care for each other and care for other people. And, you know, variety is the spice of life. So people that don't appreciate or don't like immigrants or think they're weird, I think that's weirdo behavior. And New Jersey has so many different types of people here, you know, Middle Eastern immigrants, Caribbean immigrants, just so many different people, and they all combined to make it a great place to live. So I love it here. My parents do not like it as much as they like Georgia. The area we live is not urban at all, but it's a little bit more urban than what they're used to. My parents are always used to living on a gigantic lot with a lot of land and having a lot of privacy. Luckily, I do live in a cul-de-sac, and we are the house at the very end of the cul-de-sac, and we have the largest lot. So we have managed to carve out some privacy in our little subdivision. I think in our subdivision, I don't even think there's 20 houses in our subdivision. Our subdivision is very small. And it's just nice. Here's some more horses. Glen Eyre Farm. I always like to drive past here or ride past here because there's always like 30 or 40 horses out here. Oh, they must have brought the horses inside. Oh no, they're back there in the paddock in the back. I don't think you can see them from the road. I can see them. I don't think you guys will be able to see them. There they are. Hi, babies. Beautiful. I do suspect the taxes out here in Medford are a little bit higher because the houses are bigger and the lots are bigger, and they just have more like luxury features that you would expect on a property that would be a little bit more expensive. A lot of these properties have lakes, and you know, like I said, people have ranches. Even if, I guess if you have, you know, 1 or 2 horses, it's still considered a ranch depending on, you know, how it's set up. You know, these people have corn, and that's like their property. I don't know if it's their personal corn. It's a lot of corn just for one family close together, but I think it's like a prestigious town to live in. You know, it has a good name, it has a good reputation, so probably the taxes are a little bit higher. So it's another thing that's good about Jersey. There are bad areas of New Jersey, of course, but everything is kind of packed together in a way that even if you live in an area that's less desirable, an area that's desirable is going to be very close by. There's that fresh grass that I love to smell. Wrong gear here. A little over 5 minutes away from home now, so everybody can relax. I know my mom's probably standing on the porch waiting for me to come home. I'll tell you one thing, guys. Sometimes I'll regret going to different events. I have yet to regret attending something or just being out on my bike, even if I have a destination to nowhere. Motorcycling is just something for me that has been incredibly challenging, as you all well know, and I've been transparent about that. But it just gives me so much satisfaction and so much pleasure, and I really stopped trying to figure out why. Because yes, you're uncomfortable out here. You could be hot, you could be really cold out here, you could be wet, you know, the bike is heavy. If you have back issues or any sort of like, you know, physical ailments, motorcycling exacerbates those things, right? But I don't know what it is, man. I just love being on this bike. Like once I get out and I get past maybe like a sensation of feeling nervous a little bit, I just love getting out on it. I don't know. If you would have told me 15 years ago that one day I'd be riding a motorcycle and just really like enjoying it, and I don't want to say mastering it because I feel like that's a little bit of hubris right there, because I definitely have not mastered riding a motorcycle whatsoever. I still have skills that I'm working on, like cornering, and different things like that, but I'm more than proficient at it. I am above average at it, I think. That remains to be seen. Maybe like somebody who's, you know, an expert or more experienced, they would probably tell me that I'm not. I can think of a couple of people that I know on YouTube that really like ride, that I follow. They probably be like, baby girl, you're not you're not proficient, you're not even intermediate at riding that thing. But hey, I'm gonna big up myself today and say that I am. So this has been something that I've been fortunate to do. While I don't have a lot of money, I've been fortunate that I can afford to continue to have this as a hobby and to financially keep up with it. I've been able to purchase a couple of motorcycles. I've been able to pay a motorcycle payment on this brand new bike that is not cheap by any means. I also have a car payment. You know, I have a house. I have a child that dances and is aspiring to be a professional dancer, which any dance moms out there, you know that thing is not cheap. And you know, I've been blessed to be able to do things that I want to do despite everything that's happening with the economy and in the world right now. So I'm definitely grateful for that. If I wasn't able to ride anymore, I would be really sad and really upset, and I would think about it. And you know, even days when I don't get out and ride my bike, I always think about it. Like it's always kind of in the back of my mind, like I wonder when I'm gonna when I'm gonna be able to get out and ride again. I wonder on the next ride where I'm gonna get to go. It's just, it is a form of peace and a form of freedom for me. Yeah, I don't know, I'm getting kind of emotional talking about it. Y'all probably don't know by now because you haven't seen me emotional, but your girl is emotional. Like I'm a crybaby. I am a Leo, so I don't have that part of Leos that have bad tempers like that. Like I do have a bad temper, but it takes a lot. I have the Leo that like cries and is emotional, you know, for good things or bad things. So pulling into my house now, into my little area where I live, and again, I have been blessed to make it home safely, make it home in one piece. That's what we always ask for when we're out here on these bikes, and the goddess has blessed me to bring me home once again, and here we are. Oh, my family's there. I actually want to back in here. So like I said, I have cousins visiting from Atlanta. So she was filming me.
So we have made it home safe and sound. I got the bike backed up. It's a little further to the side than I wanted it, but it's fine. What's that little boy? Little black boy. Never seen him before. All right, so we're in here. Yeah, and that's it. So I'm really hot and sweaty now. It's one thing about Harleys, man. These Harleys, they get, baby. Let's go over here and see what my mom and my cousin is doing. Here they are. I have family in town from Atlanta. This is my cousin Francina. So we grew up together. She's a little older than me, but she's always been more more like a sister than a cousin. Is my mommy. Here's mommy. Say hi, mommy. Hey. Mommy's just glad I'm back.
Yeah, mommy's always glad.
I feel like I told you guys a couple minutes ago. She's probably on the porch, waiting for me or checking my location.
Yes, you know it.
My baby cousin Shalom.
You know it. Here's Lomi.
Yep. So for once,
Samara's in the house.
For once, it was a nice day today in Jersey. So.
It's been a while. We've been having a lot of rain, and tomorrow's supposed to be nice, and y'all go to New York City.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna take the cousins. They've never been to New York City, so we're gonna go to Manhattan and see the sights.
And I'm gonna stay home
and today,
and make a big pot of gumbo.
Today they went to Philly.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So we just been.
Uncle Daddy and cousin.
Yeah, Uncle Daddy.
This morning.
Went to church this morning.
Time in church, and Cena sang for me in Sunday school, and the ladies just loved it, and tears was flowing, and hearts were grateful. So we've had a blessed day. We've had a full day. Everybody's home. I'm always happy when everybody's under one roof. When Ma'ari's home, Rashawn's home, we're all under one roof. That's when I really have a lot of peace, is when everybody's home. And
yeah, we've been trying to get the cousins to come up here, and this is the first time we've been in this house. Nearly 10 years now, right?
9 years. It'll be 9 years.
Okay, so they finally got a chance to come up. So we're happy that they got to come and visit.
Well, we just have a good time, even when we just sit around and watching TV and talking and laughing and stuff. We just still have a good time.
Yeah,
we have a good time. But I got emotional this morning because in church, everybody was there, and whenever I'm in church, a lot of times I think about my mother-in-law, Miss Martha Nelson, and I think about how she always used to preach the word and tell me about God. All of us, but you know, we were young and wild. We was running. We weren't trying to hear that, and everything. And now, when you finally get it, I get it, and I'm so grateful for her. And I would just almost give anything if she would be here, where we could actually sit down and have devotion, and she could teach me and stuff. I would just love that.
Proud of her, because she was preaching that and teaching that Sunday school lesson like she's been doing it all her life, and she would be so proud of her.
So today
proud of her.
it's been a good visit. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
Aw,
I'm good.
yeah. So maybe we'll film a little bit tomorrow so you guys can see our little visit to New York. I'm apprehensive about it, but I think it'll be fine. It's gonna. You guys have never been to New York. You're gonna see it's gonna be overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure. And there's probably still people because the game was today. And might probably people like staying behind, like, oh, let me explore New York a little bit before we go home. So it might be a little nutty, but also it's Monday, so
Yeah, but this is
maybe it
the
won't be
only
so bad.
opportunity because of the weather.
Yeah,
So, we have to take advantage of it because it's going to start raining again. So just don't y'all eat too much where y'all don't want to come home and eat the gumbo.
That rain though cleared up a lot of that smoke and
did.
stuff. So
We saw some blue
Stuff,
skies.
so.
We saw some blue skies.
The
yeah, it
skies
was
were
blue today. That's what I was saying. Today was the first day where it was like really blue and you could differentiate between the sky and the clouds. Yeah, for sure.
It was really blue. It was a real summer day today. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Only person missing is Mika. Yeah, Mika
Did
outside.
January yet release?
January left, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guys. So we're gonna wrap up this video right now. This has been the Wordy Woody Show. I'm Woody. Thank you for joining me. See you guys next time.